Hi, I'm Paris, and a couple weeks back I did a live stream with all my components for doing a new computer build with the new Ryzen processor so I can have a very fast video editing system. However, two business tax returns and doing the personal taxes stood between me and getting this built. Finally finished the taxes before they were due and got started on this yesterday. I've recorded each component as I've installed it, so I'll be putting up a series of videos that go in depth about each component. And once it's completely up and running with Windows installed, benchmarking software and so forth, I'll do an analysis of those components that I chose to build this with. But in the meantime, because a number of people have been asking, hey, where's that computer you're supposed to be building? I've put together a little highlight reel here of the steps in the installation and to show you what happened when I tried to turn it on for the first time.
Epic review, guys.
Let's do the unveiling and see. That's pretty. The front, there are LEDs here. Here's the side panel. Okay. There's the inside. And if you are using a water cooling system with the radiators mounted up here on the cage, the idea is that the fans will blow warm air out here. I don't think you could count on enough of it getting to the back and going out through the power supply. This is the bottom of the case here. You can see there's room to mount 320mm fans. I am now going to open up the power supply, and this is a heavy one. I do pack it nicely. Here we are. Matches real well with the case too. I'm going to be installing this into the top rear of the case right here. There's a special cage for it. Since I want the fan to pull the air from inside the case, it's going to go this way, which puts the rear of the power supply like this. The rest of the cable will feed down through this L-shaped opening in the case in the InWin 303. So the cable can either feed down through this portion in front of the motherboard or right here and come into one of the spots in back. There are 9 holes in the motherboard to put the screws through to attach it to the case. I also realized I hadn't shown you the ports on the back. I've installed the 5 additional offsets, ready to put the motherboard on and attach it. Screws are all in, motherboard is well attached. I'm a little concerned with the ports here that run right up against the bottom of the case. Here you can see the lid of the Ryzen 1700X processor, and it looks like a little sticker they give you to put on your computer. Show your AMD pride. On the motherboard, here's the setup. Here's where the CPU is going to fit. You can see each of those tiny little holes. There should be just as many of those as there are little pins on the back of the CPU. Here's a view of those 1300 plus pins. Once you've dropped the CPU in place and you're sure you have it in the right way and it is resting completely in the slot, grab the little handle, and this is going to slide it and tighten it into place. So this is the point where damage will be done if you didn't get it right. Here's what comes in the box of the Samsung 960 EVO M.2. It's small. And with the M.2 drive, you don't have to worry about finding a spot to attach it out here or where the cables, power cable, data cable are going to go like with the hard drive or an older solid state drive. Instead, it attaches right to the motherboard, and it is this slot right here. It almost plugs in like the memory does on laptops. It kind of goes in at a little bit of an angle and slides in. And there's my 960 EVO drive installed. And here's the Trident Z memory out of the box. One side of the memory sticks is black. The other side is that silvery gunmetal. And the real color, though, is going to come from the top portion, the white plastic portion that says G-Skill. That's where the LED lights are located. And there's the memory installed, but not yet lit up. It's going to be running all 8 cores at 100% when it's doing video editing, so I needed some extra cooling power for the CPU. I decided to go with liquid cooling. The radiator. And the pump. I have the 2 fans attached to the radiator and installed here at the back of the case. Next up is attaching the pump. Once I put some thermal paste onto the CPU, and you can see this little piece here, I believe, is going to click on here, and there's one on the other side. I've put a small amount of the Arctic Silver thermal compound on top of the CPU. I'm going to spread it around with a credit card, a very thin layer, and then I'll put, according to the instructions for Arctic Silver, I'll put a thin line down the middle of this CPU before I mount the two together. Other than that, it's just a matter of plugging in the pump itself to the port on the motherboard that controls water cooling. The control cables are now all attached. Well, it didn't take that many cables after all. There was the main ATX power supply cable. There was the CPU cable. They're both plugged into the correct spots, hopefully. And I don't like having the system with no positive air inflow, so I picked up a fan that was on sale over at Fry's for $8. It even has LED lights, and I'm going to mount that in the bottom here. I think I have assembled this correctly. I'm done. In any case, it's plugged in. I've plugged in the keyboard, mouse, and I've stuck in an old video card just as sort of a placeholder there until I switch out the one for my current video editing system. Cross some fingers. Ooh, things are spinning, things are lighting up. And the memory. And what is the monitor? Not saying anything. And I have to admit that choosing LED light components was because it's the new thing and I thought people would be interested to see how it works. But I love this memory. It's like having a lava lamp in your computer. Hey, now there's an idea for a liquid cooling system. And this is not too shabby for an $8 fan. On my second reboot of the system, it came right to this screen when it started up, so I guess it recognized the CPU. I see it there. AMD Ryzen 7 1700X 8-core processor. Looks like I'm off to a good start. Well, I'm really happy with it, how it looks, how it started right up the first time, that it seems to have recognized all the attached devices. That's all good news. So I'll work on the configuration, I'll install Windows, other software, some benchmarking software, and put it to the test, and I'll do a follow-up video in a week or two and give you my opinion on whether it was worth all of the time and money and effort. In the meantime, while I'm watching these memory sticks pulse hypnotically, you can keep checking back for that video, or you can click that subscribe button down below. You'll get notified when our videos go up. See you on the next review.
Shopping is easy when you know what to buy. At EpicReviewGuys, a gift of a try. What does the fox buy? Nobody knows, but before he goes shopping, he watches our video.